Hi guys, welcome back to the history of the everything. Today's video is another book review. I haven't done it one in a few months, and I thought that it would be nice to do another one since I've read some more books, and since books are very fun. I like historical fiction. So today's book review is on The Witch of Blackbird Pond. It's an incredible book. It's by Elizabeth George Spear. It was published in 1958, and it actually won a medal. So it's been around for a while. It's about like early on in the witch trials, like and it takes place in Connecticut. The main character is Kit. She comes from Barbados, and she used to live with her grandpa. Then when her grandpa died, he was in a lot of debt, so she had to pay all those debts, and then she took a ship and went to her only family in Connecticut, her aunt and her uncle, her cousins, and she never told them that they were coming, but she just moved in and she started working with them because you can see that she's very independent, and that's Kit on the very title. So this is a newer version. The older version was they made a newer title. So yeah, it's been published for quite a long time, but it's I think it's a good book, and I like how it tells us like that. I like how it tells us about history, not and how it affects the one person, not just the whole world. So before we dive, as we're gonna dive deeper into the Witch of Blackbird Pond book review, it is historical fiction, yes. See what else. So it's about the Salem witch trials, and it takes place 5 years before them. So and it's in Connecticut, not Salem. But I mean, all around they were scared of witches coming and killing, and because she learned how to read, and when she taught this other girl, Prudence, how to read, they were like, "Oh, she's a witch!" And like when she swam, they were like, "Oh, she's a witch," because if you can swim, you're considered a witch. And it wasn't just women; men were convicted. Some men were actually they went on trial too, and the death penalty was a hanging, which is not very good. Um, but yeah, but the book is you can see that Kit she has a good heart, and she's friends with Hannah Tupper. Hannah Tupper she is like an outcast, kind of. She's an old woman. Her husband died. She lives in this house in this meadow, and she helps her and her friend Nat. He is a sailor. They go and they like repaired like her roof. And it has a lot of action, which I do like. It has a very big portion of action, which is I like action and adventure, mainly in historical fiction. I don't just like, I mean, I like historical fiction and action and adventure. That's like the main thing of books I like. But um, yeah, it's very, very cool how the author like wrote it, so you could dive into it. Because historical fiction, if you don't know, is not a true story. They made it up, but the characters are fake, but the whole setting is real. So there's a ton of historical fiction books, and I think that it's very cool that they wrote historical fiction so we can dive into it better. Not just from like a true story. And you can see that Kit has a good heart, and she actually she wants to help people out, and she like when in Barbados she could play and like do whatever she wanted, but in Connecticut it's like work, 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 work. And her grandpa was a loyal subject to the king, but her uncle and aunt are they don't like the king. This is not the Revolutionary War. This is far, far from the Revolutionary War. So the main problem in this story is when Kit actually she goes and she is convinced as a witch, and she's younger. It's because she's been by a person who's a witch, but and she was arrested, but she wasn't thrown in jail. She was just put on trial. She was actually found not guilty because her student that she was teaching how to write actually had good handwriting, and the dad and the mom thought that she was a witch, but then the dad was like, that's actually really good handwriting, but the mom was really crazy and was like, no, she's a witch! You're all being, like, entranced by the witch powers, but the dad was like, are you crazy? So, you can see it, that's the main plot, and then she gets out, and at the very end, her and her other 3 cousins get married. That's the downside. But, yeah. So, the characters are, as I told, Hannah, Nat, Kit, there's Prudence, then there's her other 2 cousins, her aunt and her uncle. And her uncle he's like a strong man, and he goes with his beliefs even though he doesn't know they're right. And that's not good, because it's like you can think you're right, but you like until you have the proof and the evidence, you're not right. Like, you could be like, oh, I'm right, but then someone else has the proof and evidence that you're wrong. And, like, you shouldn't be angry, you should just accept that and be like, oh, thank you, I am wrong. So that's called prejudice. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video on the history of everything. Please consider subscribing, like the video, share it with your friends, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the video. Make sure to watch the very end. Stop motion at the very end. See you guys next time.